Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. This episode of Word Balloon is brought to you by AlexRossArt.com. Alex has a brand new graphic novel coming out from Marvel and Abrams Books, Fantastic Four Full Circle. It comes out September 6th. It's a rainy night in Manhattan, and not a creature is stirring except for the Thing, Ben Grimm. When an intruder suddenly appears inside the Baxter Building, the Fantastic Four find themselves surrounded by a swarm of invading parasites. These carrion creatures, composed of negative energy, come to Earth using a human host as a delivery system. But for what purpose? And who is behind this untimely invasion? The Fantastic Four have no choice but to journey to the Negative Zone, an alien universe comprised entirely of antimatter, risking not just their own lives, but the fate of the cosmos. Fantastic Four Full Circle is the first long-form work written and illustrated by acclaimed artist Alex Ross, who revisits a classic Lee Kirby story from the 60s and introduces the storyline for a new generation of readers. Bold, vivid colors, his trademark visual storytelling, Ross takes Marvel's first team of superheroes to places only he can illustrate. The book also features a special poster jacket with the front flap unfolding to reveal an all-new fully painted origin story of the Fantastic Four. Again, Fantastic Four Full Circle out September 6th. For more details, go to AlexRossArt.com. Something like that. There we go. Welcome back, everybody. Hi.
Johnny, you're there.
Yeah, I know. I was having camera issues, but managed to fix it when the Fantastic Four were doing their thing. But welcome again. It's time again for another Trek Watch. John Suntress here. Franco here. Wayne is here. Mitch is on an away mission at Yankee Stadium. Good for him. Enjoying the playoff.
He was at the playoff game last night, and he got to stick around for 3 hours till they called it a rain delay and canceled it.
Bummer. All these things happen.
So the makeup was tonight. So no Mitchie.
No Mitchie. But we got us three. Well, and you guys were on your away mission at New York Comic Con. And you were right there in the eye of the storm when all that Trek news was coming out. Pickard Season 3 trailer and a little disco teaser trailer and Prodigy and the like. Everything was going except nothing on the movie front. But so a lot of Trek news. Did you guys have a chance to watch the trailer?
Yep.
I did not.
Picard
I
trailer.
forgot. Well, how come there's no movie stuff? Did they just totally give up on this? What's happening?
They did. They right after the convention, all of a sudden they pulled Star Trek 4 from the schedule. It's supposed to be a year from Christmas 2023, but they hadn't done nothing. So I again we're back in movie limbo. Although Patrick Stewart said at the Picard whatchamacall
junket panel.
Yeah, junket panel. But he's like, we're ready to. I understand there's a spot available on the future schedule. We'd be happy to oblige.
Oh, so he's going to do a new movie?
He wants to, and that's interesting. I'm sorry you didn't see. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm angry you didn't see it. Way to go, Franco.
I'm sorry. I dropped the ball on so many things this week. I'm sorry. But I did watch some things, so we can talk about them.
Okay, and I'll even confess, I haven't watched everything either. I still haven't watched Werewolf by Night.
Watch that.
Shame on me, but I promise by next episode I will. So let's if you don't
mind. I'll be caught up with everything by next episode as well.
That's cool. Yes. But all right, so did you watch the last two Lower Decks?
I did. Hence the color me surprised logo underneath me. Because it is
for me was the William has a point in the second episode. Towards the end.
It is quickly rising above Orville. Quickly.
I was, and the more I think, it's funny. The last two, the more I think about them, I like them a little bit better. Um, God, now shame on me. Oh yeah, it was Peanut Hamper 2 weeks ago.
Right.
The
Mm-hmm.
saga of Peanut Hamper, and then last week, of course, was Boimler's feature film parody, which I have to say, at the very least, I liked it better than Mariner's feature film from last year.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start with Peanut Hamper. I thought the Peanut Hamper episode was very good. I really did. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, so did I. And they went full twist and turns that I didn't think they would do, and it was great. All around, and I thought like a really solid Star Trek episode too.
I so agree, Wayne.
Yeah, the Peanut Hamper. I don't know. I did not see. I honestly thought Peanut Hamper turned the corner, and then at the end, oh no, I'm out to screw everybody. It doesn't matter who.
Yeah, no, and that's good. I like that, but I also like that it reminded me, and maybe you guys felt the same way, of that Next Generation episode where Data loses his memory and he's on that backwards planet. Oh, Jaden. Oh, hello, Jaden. Oh. And he's got the secrets of the radioactivity chunks. And so I mean it reminded me of kind of a parody of that. But regardless, I was like, on the first Peanut Hamper episode, but I thought this was great. And I've read so many. I love the people that are like, well, I'm really upset that the regular crew wasn't more involved. And it's like, get over it, Jesus! This is hilarious.
That's what they would do with Star Trek. Is every once in a while they would have an offshoot of something.
Yeah,
that's what I like about the show. It really burns my britches that I'm calling this character Peanut Hamper and liking it, but but it's funny. It was funny. It was good. It was like, the twists and turns, and I'm like, oh, Peanut Hamper's a scumbag. I like
Peanut
that.
Hamper was having sex with the bird guy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and then at the end, where you're with all the nasty AIs, that something is going to happen with them.
Mm-hmm.
I know,
yeah. And again, I mean, it's like I was like so with the one AI that turns on Mariner and Boimler, but now I'm really excited about that. And refresh my memory. What was the other AI that was in there? Oh, it wasn't Badgie, was it?
No, it was Agus. Jeffrey Combs played the character. I remember that.
Right. Yeah, I recognize the voice. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was Jeffrey Combs' voice. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think his name was Agus.
But he was from where?
I vaguely remember the episode, or I did at the moment, but now that it's been 2 weeks, and I didn't think to watch it again. Is he
from a Lower Decks episode or from somewhere?
It was
else?
Definitely from another Lower Decks episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's from another Lower Decks.
And that's what I mean. It's like now all of a sudden it's like good. You're like using past characters and storylines and building on them, and again doing it in a very Star Trek way. So I mean that and Rutherford's history of why he was reprogrammed into Okie Dokie guy. These are interesting ideas that they're pursuing, and I think that's great. I'm thrilled. I mean, it took them 2.5 seasons to kind of figure themselves out, but right now they're doing really well. I mean, there were only a couple lousy ones at the beginning, and then I really think from the Rutherford and the DS9 episodes, and now Peanut Hamper, and we'll get to last week's and stuff. It's like, no, I really think they're on an upswing. I'm stunned.
Jeffrey Combs was Agamus.
Mm-hmm.
What was do you know what the episode was about beyond that?
I'm going to pull that up.
Yeah, sorry, Wayne. I know. I'm taxing you, Wayne.
No, you're not taxing me. A mathematically perfect redemption?
That was the Peanut Hamper episode. That was the one we watched.
Was that the original Peanut Hamper?
No, I think that's the name of this episode.
No, you're right. That was the name of the one from 2 weeks ago. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Then I clicked on the wrong one.
We'll find it.
No, I do have it. Oh, Where Pleasant Fountains Lie.
Okay. Any
Doesn't
present?
help.
No premise or anything.
Mariner and Boimler are stranded on an uninhabited planet with a sentient computer.
Okay, we
On the
remember that
Cerritos.
computer. What about the other one? What was the other computer then?
Which
Because
other?
that's
Oh,
I do
you're
remember
talking
that.
about Peanut Hamper.
No, there's three
There's
AIs
Oh,
at the
because there's
end
3.
that are all getting together. There's Peanut Hamper. There's Jeffrey
Well,
Combs.
there's more than that, but the Jeffrey
Well,
Combs
yes,
one
but
was
they're the three that are predominant.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh wait, let's see if the Peanut Gallery's got it here. Our fine people. No, they're just making other comments, and we'll get to them in a second.
Yeah, but I thought it was hysterical with the bird people, and then that they. It really has turned the page, Stuart. He says Lower Decks has turned the page, is suffering from the first season funk. Yeah, but the first season funk effect was real bad. It was like really funky, really stinky funky, where they didn't have their footing at all. But now they are, and I'm glad because I want more of this stuff.
Oh yeah,
and
very.
You know what? I've also noticed that the humor is not in your face loud. It's subtle, and it's like the sex between Birdman and Peanut Hamper. It's there, and that's funny. See, I find that stuff very funny, and it works in the Star Trek. But
when they showed them in bed, it reminded me of the Heavy Metal movie, where it's the hot naked redhead, and she's having sex with the little robot, and it's voiced by John Candy. Oh, what your boyfriend does not know will not hurt him. And she's like, that was incredible.
Right. Lower Decks, Lower Decks for me is turning into what Orville should have been at the beginning.
You know what's excellent, Francis? I know I'm never going to turn you on Orville. That said, I got to tell you, even since the weekend, I've been rewatching episodes, and episodes that I was just about in the first season. Now that I know the characters better, I love it.
No, never. I'm never watching it again.
Stuart said he thought the bird people were kind of a rift on the K people of Avatar. Sure. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd go with that.
Good stuff, as Johnny Carson would say. No, I really enjoyed the Peanut Hamper episode. And last week was Boimler's feature film, and it built on Mariner's film from the previous year. What I liked about this one, and again, maybe it's just my anti-Mariner bias, but Mariner's movie was, hey, I'm the greatest, and I'm evil, and and it's like Boimler actually had an interesting, a fun action movie plot, and then he's all bummed out because he finds out that his transporter doppelganger, his Tom Riker, has been killed, and now he's all bummed, and that's cool. And meanwhile, Tendi and Rutherford are having a great time in the big budget movie, and no, we follow Boimler, and then Boimler has a great Star Trek V story and everything, looking for God and looking for a higher meaning. So, again, I'm like, this is better. Again, they're writing better. They're writing stronger. And it just, again, I think underlines how lousy of a character Mariner is. And, my movie was so cool. And it's like, not really. No. And again, it's like, and Boimler's just like, whatever. And it's the other characters, they're getting into them deeper. You're understanding them better. And I'm sorry, Mariner's a whiny little jerk.
Yeah, I'd be interested in having a movie every season, and I would like Tendi and Rutherford to do the next ones. That'd be fun. I'm okay with that. Yeah,
probably. I liked right when the credits are over and it's black, and Rutherford went. It's like, yeah.
I like that they use the motion picture credits.
Yes,
the whole logo and everything.
Oh yeah. I think they did with Mariner's movie as well. Maybe not. I don't remember. Yeah. But it was I mean, again, I liked it, and I really the movie was more intricate, and of course, Boimler would have a more intricate movie than Mariner's whole just BS and everything.
And you had the difference between Tendi and Rutherford taking how serious they're taking it. Where Tendi's all for it, and Rutherford's, I'm going to get some popcorn and just walk off.
He kept eating.
This is all fun.
I like fake Boimler commenting with the Section 31 badge. He goes, "Really? If we're secret, how come we have to wear these badges?" You can be dead for real. Oh, no, I'll put it on.
That's awesome. That really is kind of like, guess what, kids? Maybe you're kind of screwing up your Section 31 ideas too. I liked it. It's kind of a nice little jab at the big brass of new Trek.
We're probably going to see more Section 31 through Lower Decks than we will through anything else.
I think you're right, because I do think that Rutherford's story is going to definitely
dovetail into Section 31.
So, yeah, and as Stuart says, I'm now actually interested in the Rutherford subplot. This is what I mean, man. No, they're like, I have done such a 180 on Lower Decks. I'm still, gonna look askance at Mariner and be like, yeah, whatever. But at least, again, they recognize that the four of them are stronger than just focusing on Mariner, and it's great to learn more and more about them. I mean, God, going back to DS9 and Tendi kind of, rejecting her Orion ways, and the other guy being so hot to be Orion. And when, the chips are down, she's like, fine, I'm a pirate. Fuck you. Just like kind of embracing who she is. Taking his lousy tool and with the tooth, and all of a sudden it's a different tool. That's great.
What I think is happening with Lower Decks is what should have happened with Discovery a while ago, is they're starting to get into the other characters. You set up this core group of characters on the bridge or on the lower deck, and you're branching out into them. Discovery still hasn't done any of that. I don't know any of the other people's names. They've done that to a degree with certain characters, but I don't know. I don't know anything about them other than just that little bit.
Yeah, the only one in Discovery would be Saru, that you have more of a backstory.
Well, and you did from season 1 with Saru. Hey, man, and I don't remember her name. She's got a very long African name, dreadlock lady. Had her little moment doing her MMA thing at the casino last season. Eyepiece lady. We've had a little mention more of her.
The fact that we're calling them by these descriptors because we don't know their names. I mean, season 3 of Lower Decks, I know who Boimler is. I know who Marinara Sauce is, even though I call her Marinara. And Tendi and Rutherford. I know their names now because I've had stories with them.
Yeah, Ransom the first officer, the Jerry O'Connell's character. Yeah. I mean, that's and I always forget the captain's Freeman.
Yeah, Carol Freeman.
Yeah, Carol Freeman. I don't remember Cat Doctor's name. Jax is the Bajoran security guy. It's not. Yeah, I mean, feel free, Wayne. But I mean, it's. Thank you for doing that. But yeah, you're right, Franco. And again, it's going to be really interesting if season 5 we finally get a little bit more of that. The rest of the Disco bridge crew. I mean, certainly we know Tilly.
It's Dr. Tiana.
Say it again.
Dr. Tiana.
Thank you.
But it's amazing how we know so much about Strange New Worlds and how good that is compared in one season compared to 3 or 5 seasons of this other stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'll always watch Star Trek, but I want good Star Trek, But right. The fact that it's taken 3 and 5 seasons to get, well, Disco's still not good in my opinion, but 3 seasons for Lower Decks. When Strange New World did really well, right out of the gate.
I hear you, man. Stuart says it's funny. He had the same opinion about the Orville as Lower Decks. He disliked it at first, then he grew to like it. And again, we're not going to change Franco's mind.
Stuart, you're wrong. I'm sorry. You're right.
No, you're right. But no, you're right, Franco. And as we can, if we want, we could transition to She-Hulk. But before, because Dan Slott on Twitter the other day was making a comment about hate watching, and I assumed a lot of it was revolving around She-Hulk. Maybe it was also talking about things like Star Wars or Andor, or also just the Star Trek hate or whatever. And I'm really glad someone else said it and said, "Hey, I love Star Trek. I've loved it all my life, and I don't feel like I'm hate watching, but I am disappointed in what I see. But every week, I hope it gets better." Lower Decks, and I cannot wait. We're only 2 weeks from Prodigy, and I can't wait for Prodigy either. They embraced the fact that they were ensemble shows from the beginning, and we learned about all the characters, and we appreciate them, and we had episodes that really got into them, and with half the time of most of the live action shows. I mean, that's really. I'm amazed at the amount of story that both Prodigy and Lower Decks are able to get.
What Prodigy did in half a season far outweighed what Disco has done in 5 seasons, what Lower Decks has done in 3 seasons, and frankly, what Strange New Worlds has done in a full season, because they did it in a half a season. I was in to Prodigy right from the get-go, because they explained the premise and the characters were fun, and I was into it.
Well, and there's some really interesting mysteries that also tie into Janeway and Chakotay, and what they've become post Voyager. No, all that's really, really interesting. Stuart's got a lot of comments today. I like Doug Jones. I like Saru, but his species biology as fodder for the predator species was horrible. Totally agree. Oh, again, and really, I know we're really just whipping this dead horse of Discovery. First of all, Francis, it's only been 4 seasons. 5th season is coming up, but still, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, well, I have faith that it's going to suck.
But again, because I can't help it, I'm constantly watching all iterations of Trek, and I'm rewatching DS9, and I'm rewatching season 7, and when they introduce Ezri as compared to Jadzia Dax, and they've got in the character. Oh God, now I'm forgetting the non-binary character's name on Disco.
Blue?
No, not Blue.
That's the
Blue is Blue's. It's Blue's lover.
Right. Okay.
By the way, it's Gray. Gray is the character's name. Blue is the trans person that plays Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Adira. Adira is her name, or its name, non-binary. But okay, we've got a joined character that's half symbiote. In this case, it's human, but can't connect to her past lives. Well, that's what makes the Trill and the Trill symbiote interesting, is that they've got all these past lives that they can call back on. Now let's get rid of that. And it's funny because real fast, Cisco, when Ezri isn't sure if she wants to stay on the station or not, or even stay in Starfleet, Cisco's like, hey, great, why don't you go back to the Trill and hang out at one of those pools where when they're joined, that they can experience their past lives. And it's like, yeah, you mean that place that they went to at Disco and nothing happened? Yeah, exactly. It's like, why make the person a Trill or a joined alien if you're not going to have that ability? That's what makes them interesting. Also, as an actor, because it's like, oh my God, well, this part of me was an admiral and this part of me was a screw up and got themselves killed early. I mean, that's a really exciting thing. Now let's get rid of that. Hey, by the way, the Vulcans and the Romulans, they're really interesting because they kind of look alike, but they're very different. Hey, let's merge them together. Done. All right. I mean, they like paint themselves in a corner with all of their choices. It's ridiculous.
Well, you think of the interactions with Cisco and whether it's Jadzia or Ezra, he always talks about the old man, because that's his connection to the individual, is not the current person that holds the Trill. It's the previous incarnation.
Well, and it's a combination of those I mean, and obviously they focus on Curzon because of his relationship with Cisco. But that said, in fact, literally, I was napping earlier this afternoon, and what I was watching before I fell asleep was the episode where Ezri is trying to find out there's like a crazy killer that's picking off Starfleet people. And she taps into Joran, and that was her psychotic past life. And you see an actor playing that standing next to Ezri. And also, of course, they had the episode with Jadzia as well, when it's a suppressed life that, they kind of forced her to forget, but eventually Jadzia remembered her. And of course, Ezri kind of taps into her to think like a psycho and figure out stuff. That's interesting. You know what's not interesting? Two people looking at each other going, you're special. No, you're special. You know why you're special? Why? Because you're special. It's like, Jesus.
Right? Oh, no. My drama is more important than your drama.
Yes. Yes. Oh. Unbelievable. Really? I know. I'm sorry.
But again, Lower Decks, to summarize, these last couple of episodes, just a 180. And telling
funny
stories.
Subtle funny, not in your face, loud, clever. Trying to be funny. Actually funny.
Right.
Actually funny,
right. Yeah.
Okay. Again, the joke with the black badge is perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
but even
why do we
the
have this?
going back to the Peanut Hamper
Yeah.
episode,
Sure.
there's subtle little things like there was something that she said kind of under her breath about like white poop being everywhere, like the poop is everywhere type thing. And I'm not a big fan of like poop jokes, but that was funny because like they're bird people, and,
Right.
But it was subtle and it was under the radar, like a subtle comment that she made.
Forgive me keeping to refer back to Orville. I'm watching it on Disney Plus now without because I watched it on Hulu and I had lower level Hulu where you sit through commercials, and I kind of believe that there were lines that Fox probably trimmed either for time or for that's a little too far that I didn't remember from the original run. And it's funny you mentioned the bird poop jokes in the Peanut Hamper episode. There's the two-parter where Isaac goes nuts and his race is going to go after the Earth and everything, and they have the whole crew stuck in the in the big hatch where the shuttles are and everything, and
Hangar Bay.
thank you, the hangar. I know, I brain dead. But yeah, they're in the hangar bay, and Gordon comes over, and it's like, "Where were you?" He goes, "I was over by the pee corner." And then she's like, and Ellie goes, "What?" Well, they won't let us go to the bathroom, so we
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
And he goes, "You don't want to go by there unless you really need to." And I forget. And then they like decide to have a real shitty job, and he goes, "Maybe I'm gonna go back to the pee corner." All right. I don't know. I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that. And a few times they call each other dicks or whatever in the show, and I'm like, I don't remember that. That's fantastic. Even though they're stupid throwaway things. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Let's move on to She-Hulk. Great ending.
I
thought it was like a Byrne comic book. That was a comic story that Byrne would have written and drawn.
And Slott too. I mean, you're right. It went to the extremes. Of
it went to the Byrne extreme.
Yeah. And I mean, didn't you think for a second when it went back to the Marvel menu page on the Disney site?
Like, what happened? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You're like, what the hell happened? And then all of a sudden she pops out of the window and it's like, oh, that's great. That's fantastic. And also, man, I listen, I understand the haters that are coming at it from a misogyny standpoint or whatever, but the ones that are like a lot of people on the left also have had a problem with this show, and it's like, don't you recognize that, especially the way that it was going to end, or the fake end, the fake climax that they were heading to? It's like they're making fun of all the Marvel movies. That okay, here we go, and I love that Kevin is an AI, and it's even better that the subtext is, of course, these things are formulaic, so of course they're coming from an AI because they are so formulaic. And that was great. That was funny.
I really thought they were going to go with the bad guy injecting himself. I'm like, oh, they're doing the Abomination thing. Abomination turns into and then when the Hulk crashes in, I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, this is so stupid. Like, they're really but I'm like they are so really unsticking the landing here until it took that left turn again, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I'm sorry, I judged too harshly, too prematurely.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not sick of the formula.
No, not at all.
But it looked when it looked like it was veering towards typical Marvel formula.
But that's what I'm saying, right?
I'm like, okay,
because the whole series hasn't. Yeah, the whole series hasn't been that. When they were veering that way, they kind of hooked me, and I was like, I can't believe they're doing this,
Yeah, but it didn't bother me, and then all of a sudden, no, it takes that left turn, and it's like, oh, this is great. This is funny. But man, I am so almost disappointed in a lot of critics who I think are smart people that are like, oh well. And the problem is, and maybe I'm at fault for this on my criticisms of New Trek as well, that the story didn't go the way they wanted it to, and a lot of people from midway through the She-Hulk series, they're like, oh, I was really expecting this to be a smarter law show or more like the Slott run, or
like the Daredevil show was.
Yeah, well, or more like a I would say the Jessica Jones comic, where especially early on in Alias, you had that moment where there was a woman that was going after Captain America, and you saw Captain America on a rooftop, like Jessica was following this lover, and it turns out it's Steve, and then Steve is on a rooftop, turns into Captain America and everything, and it kind of follows this, like, oh, is Captain America a jerk? Is he like screwing around? What the hell's going on? And I assume like they wanted more, I think, A-list heroes or villains to be in real law issues and stuff instead of what we got. And I'm like, well, didn't we get that with the Immortal Man having all these former wives and what's his face, the Frogman and everything, and his boots that screw up? I'm like, we were getting legal cases. No, we wanted smarter legal cases. Well, I'm sorry, but it was a comedy. It was comedy from day one.
Well, it was kind of set up. I mean, if you think about it, like the guy hired her specifically to take care of this division that us normal people, us normal lawyers don't want to. Right. So I think it was telegraphed. I don't know what they're thinking about.
Maybe because we started with the Abomination, that they were expecting more.
But it wasn't the Abomination that we saw in the movies. That's what I'm saying. It was, again, it's set up like right away.
Yeah, as we learned. But I think maybe to begin with, it was, all right, the Abomination is out of control. Let's find out what's going on. And then we found out this wacky other story. And again, I was never disappointed. I'm like, no, that's funny. Or again, there's a couple critics that I saw that rolled their eyes when Jessica hooked up with Daredevil, as our friends would call him.
Well, sometimes, Hulk smashes, and sometimes she smashes Matt Murdock.
But also, they're like, oh God, that's so. Of course, the girl hero falls in love with the guy hero. I'm like, yeah, don't you see that she is acting exactly like the Immortal Man and other guys in terms of she is like on a trend of one night stands, and likely because now her emotions are amped up with the gamma blood. And she's not perfect. She's not, I'm right about everything. No, she's got problems too. That's good. That makes her more human, like everybody. And I that's the thing. I'm like, I don't understand what because that's the thing. It was, you had the people on the right that were misogynists. I don't give a damn. I'd much rather see a Hulk story rather than this BS. This sucks. Whatever. And then you got the people on the left. Oh, there she goes. She's in a romance, whatever. And it's like, man, you guys don't get it. God, the bridemaid, the bridal weekend was hilarious. And I was expecting a lot more of Titania, and I'm glad with the amount that we got. And every time she showed up, it was funny.
It was funny. Yeah.
I love the throwback to the 70s Hulk show.
I love that opening.
Oh my God, yes, in the last episode. And the music. Oh my God.
I was waiting for Mr. McGee to show up.
Well, they had a callback. It really I think I believe he's dead.
Yeah.
He'd be like 98 now. What? I can't hear you. Don't make me angry. What?
Well, speaking about old actors, Harrison Ford as General
Thunderbolt
Ross.
Yeah.
Is he gonna have the mustache? He's got to have the mustache.
It'd be great if he does.
Does that mean maybe Harrison Ford might end up being the Red Hulk?
Right.
Well, he doesn't have the mustache now, so he could be the Red Hulk.
Well, but in the comics,
it's stupid.
When Ross turned into the Hulk, he'd lose the stash.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, wasn't there the future Hulk with the big beard?
The Maestro.
Yeah, the Maestro. What happened?
I love the Maestro.
Yeah, but how come his beard doesn't disappear? Like what the hell? Yeah, that's stupid. That's a stupid thing. I don't like that.
No, dude, I would kill if eventually the TV or the Marvel movies go into the Maestro. The Maestro's a fantastic character. Big fan.
Those 2 issues were amazing, Future Imperfect.
Yes. Well, and everything they've done with the Maestro since. Absolutely, man. No.
The trophy room alone in those issues is just wow.
Yep. No, that's awesome. And also, they're kind of on that path. The way that Mark Ruffalo's in Endgame has figured out a way of having the best of both Bruce and the Hulk together and everything. So who's to say? And also, I love that they showed Scar at the end. That was great.
Yeah,
fantastic. Very exciting.
That took me by surprise because he showed up, and I was like, whoa, like they actually went there. See, that's what I'm talking about. Good writing, funny, and balls. I like that.
Surprises and legitimate surprises.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, no, Tim Roth's. I mean, we can really go into it now. The session groups he'd have with the third tier villains and everything.
Bull.
Yeah, all of that. That was
Porcupine.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
It's like a bad Dr. Phil.
Oh, this is interesting. What is down to say here? Why did Scar on She-Hulk have a 6 head instead of a 4 head? All right.
Genetics. Probably genetics.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. That's from his mother's side. So, Stuart says She-Hulk had an ending that was very true to the comic origins. Marvel really put fun at itself. I thought it was fantastic.
Yep.
And early on, David said, I just want to say I thought She-Hulk's finale was excellent, and we are enjoying Quantum Leap with the cool twist at the end of the last episode.
Oh, I haven't seen the last 2 episodes.
I will confess, I've only watched the first 10 minutes of Monday's episode. Did you watch last week's, Francis?
No, I missed last night's episode and last week's episode,
okay.
But I saw the one before that when he's the boxer is the last one I saw.
Yeah, those are the first 3.
Yeah.
Last week's was great. I thought it was fun. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, this week's was good too. I'm really enjoying the Beef storyline. I want to know more. And especially like the person just commented, there's it's going in a direction that I did not expect.
Oh, I'm looking forward to I want to catch up with that. And I haven't seen Andor, the last couple of episodes of Andor, just because New York Comic Con and work and stuff like that. I'm trying to catch up.
Man. No, I understand. And I'll even admit I need to catch up on that. And like I said, you guys can without spoiling, tell me about Werewolf by Night and say, did you like it?
I liked it quite a bit, actually. Yeah. I love, and this isn't a spoiler, but it's in black and white, which I thought was a lot of fun. It really reminded me of those old Hammer movies with the high contrast and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was just really well done. An hour, told a concise story, was good. I was involved. It was gory and horror and everything that I liked about those old movies. I liked it.
It had the artificial blemishes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about the little white dots in the corner where you would change reels of a in the old fashioned days and stuff. No, and I don't know if I've mentioned this to you guys before. My uncles on my grandmother's side of the Santos family, their last name was Diamandicas.
Oh well.
And her brothers were silent film projectionists in Chicago, and that was a lucrative job, and that's how they raised the money to bring my grandmother to the States. Well, so there you go. And so that's my cool little connection to the silent movie world.
Do you know who the characters are in it, John?
I was going to say, I know Man-Thing's in it.
Okay, so I have seen the other Man-Thing movie, and this one is a better representation of Man-Thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on.
Spot on. Like it goes back. I did not know the relationship. I can't remember the relationship between Man-Thing and Jack Russell.
I don't either. I don't know if there was one. I mean, I remember
Gerber might have done something. I could see Gerber doing something with it, but I just
did. Well, then it would have been in Man-Thing, because I was going to say, I know Marv Wolfman was one of the Werewolf by Night writers. And I know, of course, Man-Thing and Howard the Duck with Gerber had their connection. And that's the thing. Also, it's not. Am I right? It's not Jack Russell in the new movie. Am I correct?
I thought it is Jack. It is Jack Russell.
Okay, great, because that's fine. And again, I haven't seen the movie, so I have to admit
definitely make it your top priority. I think you're going to really like it.
And I like the fact that they're bringing in the Bloodstone family.
That's excellent.
Again, another nod to Marvel horror, going back to Ulysses and Elsa. So it's really nice that they're actually tying in some of the older comic aspects.
Yeah, no, that's the Marvel horror line and the DC horror line as well. There's a lot to mine from that, and and that's great. And I hope there is room to maybe they'll bring back Hellstorm I know they had the Hulu show and everything.
I actually like the Hulu show.
So did I, and that's why, I hope this becomes a Marvel TV Halloween tradition, because there is so much more that they can go into.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll pull a Constantine and bring that guy back.
Or League of Monsters. I would love
Right.
that as well.
Legion.
Yeah. No,
oh my God, get those guys together. Yep. If they can bring in Simon Garth, who's the zombie, then Brother Voodoo.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, they have just done so well in all aspects of their universe. Like every time another show comes out, I don't think there's anything that I've wanted some of the shows to be more. I haven't disliked any of the shows. Like even Moon Knight and stuff like that. Like I know it was some people's cup of tea, and I'm like, oh, they could have done more with it. I didn't dislike it. It was fun. It was a fun watch. I really hope that they do more. I'm hoping that in Daredevil, She-Hulk shows up, but like in more of a realistic manner within the Marvel universe, because it's his series and his point of view. I think that would be great. But I haven't been disappointed really with anything that Marvel has done. Mm-hmm. Even the Eternals on a level I really liked.
I like the Runaways. Like if you go into some of the other shows, the Runaways was good. Cloak and Dagger wasn't bad.
Right. I liked
Cloak and Dagger got a little CW for me, but yeah, I liked it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they could get away from the CW formula.
I like the MODOK cartoon. I thought that was a lot of fun.
No, I only watched one episode, and I should go back and watch the others, but I couldn't do it. Wasn't for me.
Doubt says, "Give me a Marvel Tomb of Dracula or Frankenstein." That's what I was going to say. Mm-hmm. Let's see Frankenstein. And yes, I agree about Tomb of Dracula. And my inner 70s baby will be so happy. I agree with you, Doubt.
Yep,
absolutely.
I'm with you on that one.
David Finn says, "I have to admit I was bored by Werewolf by Night, but I did enjoy seeing Man-Thing. Regarding Quantum Leap, firmly believe Scott Bakula will be back at some point." Oh, absolutely, David. We've been saying that, and I agree.
I think he lied to us.
Yeah, it's like Andrew
Garfield
in the Spider-Man movie. No. Yeah, and really every episode. Again, I'm one behind. I haven't seen this week's, but
so are you guys up to why he's leaping the way he's leaping? You understand why he's doing it?
I think in the boxing movie they said because he was slingshotting and he's slingshotting outside
building
of his
momentum
own time.
To go to a certain point, and I think that I think that certain point is where Sam Beckett is.
Totally agree. That's going to be the cliffhanger of the season,
because you can see Al's daughter wants to bring Sam back. Right. Wants to do something that her father couldn't do.
Right. Her father yeah. And even it seems to me that even the current group also is trying to solve that mystery and figure out what happened to Sam. So and again, they really underlined, and Franco, I don't know if you already got it, and maybe within our conversations, maybe I telegraphed it, but they really underlined who Ernie Hudson was last week.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah. I mean, they really went into detail, and that's good. But yeah, I mean, they keep calling him Magic, and last week's episode, sorry, minor spoiler, he explains who he was, in the Bakula show, and that's great. Again, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Wesley has a comment here. I enjoy when Marvel tried the Strange Tales line. I don't think many people jumped on that, though. Yeah, but that's okay. That's fine. Quantum Leap got greenlit for 18 episodes this season, so only 12 more to go. That's cool.
That's quite a bit of story still, so that'd be fun.
Now, I don't remember. Now, I know that, Donna was Sam's wife. I don't remember Sammy Joe. Wasn't Sammy Joe his daughter because when he leapt into somebody, he conceived a child? I don't remember. Donna was his scientist wife that was part of Quantum Leap, and they only showed her they showed a flashback of her when she was young, and then they showed her modern day when Al and Sam switched places and Al leapt, and Sam was the observer, and we got to see more of Donna in that episode. So I don't know, Dow. You're going to have to explain if Sammy Joe is Sammy Joe Beckett or another character, because I'm not remembering her from the original series. but what do I know?
Yeah.
I'm not as.
It was a long time ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, my Swiss cheese memory, which I do always have. Yeah, I don't know, but I watched a lot of Quantum Leap. I have to admit. Oh, here we go. Yes, the Doubt confirms it. Yes, Sammy Jo was the girl he had from conceiving a kid on a leap. Donna was the wife where Sam leaped. Yes, okay, that's what I thought. I was right. Yeah, I don't know. If they go back to Sammy Jo, whatever, because technically, obviously, Sam was in another person's body when it happened. But Donna, yeah, I don't know. Again, maybe we've got. I mean, it's certainly a possibility. I just think obviously they're doing so much to give us Ben's story, and rightfully so, because he is the star. That maybe maybe that'll be a wrinkle that they address in the second season. But I really believe that first season is going to end with a leap, and he's going to look up and there's Sam Beckett. I've been waiting for you, or some sort of. Oh my God, you're. Sam Beckett.
I know. I'm in for the ride. That's all I know.
It's great. It is, and really, they're doing a great job balancing the leap story and what's happening at Project Quantum Leap.
I love the characters with Project Quantum Leap. They're I love the individual characters, and they're fun.
You know, one thing that does bother me about the show, it's the wife on the show, or the girlfriend, fiance. She's very pretty, but her hairline is very low on her forehead, and I'm jealous because mine keeps creeping up. But and that really bothers me.
All right.
I can't unsee it every time it's done.
I can't help you.
I thought you'd be more worried that the fact that you get a hot-looking chick after a scientist.
No, not at all. What's wrong with you? Come on now.
And the soundtrack has been a blast too.
Yeah.
And and it's like, well, of course it is, because of all the studios, Universal was really founded on the back of MCA, and they going back to even before 45s and albums and stuff, the 78 era, they had all the big bands, and they've just licensed through the years. MCA has always been a big music label and stuff, so it doesn't surprise me that they're using all this great music in Quantum Leap right now when they're in the 80s and the 90s. It's hilarious.
I also like the fact that he can leap beyond his own lifetime.
Well, that happened with Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Sam leapt into his great-great-grandfather or whatever, and they had the Civil War episode. I do declare. So, yeah, we'll see. Sam,
Mona,
exactly. Hey, can all my characters be named Dean? It's the Tony Danza disease. Very true.
They're going to leap into Tony Danza one episode.
Sam Beckett is hard for me to remember. Can he be Tony Beckett? Is that possible? Dr. Tony Banner, physician. when he was trying for the Hulk. I know you got Bixby. Is there room for Tony Banner? Oh, God. That's hilarious. Yes, Doubt's right. They started in the very first episode when they were playing Bowie. Absolutely, man. So that's what I loved about Life on Mars, the British Life on Mars, and they really leaned into whatever on Life on Mars, and then also Ashes to Ashes, their sequel series. Life on Mars all took place in '73, so you had nothing but 1973 music, and then Ashes to Ashes was, I believe, like '84, and they had that Bowie clown character from the Bowie album Scary Monsters with Ashes to Ashes. And it's like, oh, that's great. So, good stuff. I love when they do shit like that. Let's see here. Doubt comment. I just hope DVDs and Blu-ray releases won't be like how the original series was. They released the original series on DVD with generic replacement music due to licensing. Well, Doubt, that happened because DVDs were a new format, and they had to basically go through new arrangements and to make sure that everything would transfer. And that happened to a lot of TV shows. But I do think currently and moving forward, I haven't seen any difference on the physical media in recent years. Like, let's say,
I think they've worked that out.
All the contracts have taken into account anytime they're using current music.
So even in the future, when the shows get piped directly into our brain, that'll have all been worked out prior, so we get all the music.
That's right.
There's a pending writer's strike next May. We're only really secure until May. I was talking last night on Word Balloon with Mark Guggenheim, and he was discussing that. And I've seen other friends that are TV and film writers talking on Twitter and every now and then mentioning, the strike's coming up. We got to see. I mean, there's certainly plenty of time, hopefully, to rectify things. We're talking about 7 or 8 months from now, but still, something to be aware of. And should they run into the same kind of delays that have happened back in times like 2007 and stuff, that will be interesting to see what's in the pipeline. And the streamers, I think, will be in a better position to, kind of work it out. But it will be interesting what the networks are doing and will do, if should things get that bad. We'll see. I don't know. What else can we talk about, boys?
So you guys aren't up to date on Andor?
No, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I know.
No.
Yeah, but I'm still loving it.
Andor is the Seinfeld of Star Wars.
Oh boy.
How so?
It is a show about nothing.
I'm enjoying it, sir.
Oh no. But it is slow.
Yeah.
I like the build. I like what they're doing. I want to know more about the Rebels and what the Rebels were doing. They were always in the background of all these movies, and we never really got into if you didn't have Jedi powers and you weren't Han Solo or Poe Dameron. I mean, like literally, you could count on your hand the characters we learned about that were Rebels and not Jedis. Wedge, people like that, And by the way, I really want Star Wars Wedge, and would love to see
Rogue Squadron.
Dennis.
Well, would that be like half of an iceberg lettuce with blue cheese, or
a pizza slice Wedge? Yeah, absolutely, or a pie. Yeah, this week key
You
lime
want the
pie.
Porkins story?
I would love the Porkins story.
Where he buys his uniforms and all that. Yeah, I want to know.
It's $2 extra, Porkins. Oh man, come on, damn it! All right, give me a Slim Fast with my uniform. We'll talk. But no, I love Dennis, and I can't remember his last name, who plays Wedge.
Don't know.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Again, sorry.
I'm not a name guy. You're that's Mitch.
He's great in a cop show that was on the BBC called New Tricks, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Wedge, because it's been on since like the mid-aughts and ended up it had like a 10-year run, and he joined the show mid-series, and it was like, oh my god, it's Wedge, and it was so great. That's like one of the few things I like about Rise of Skywalker. Yes, Dennis Lawson. Thanks everybody. Yes, indeed. Thank you indeed. And Brad's got the title for it, Star Wars: The Edge of Wedge. Excellent. I love it. Come on, man.
That's going to be served at the Star Wars Cantina.
Yeah. Dowd, please God, I hope a strike doesn't cause the glut of reality TV we got after the last one. Absolutely, man. Yeah, a lot more episodes of celebrity game shows.
Keeping up with the Kardashians again.
That'd be a good Star Trek show. Keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Kardashians, actually.
Kardashians.
Yes. That's great. What is Garrick doing these days?
True.
I want to know.
Yeah. All I can say is finally Andor. It does pick up this week or last week.
Okay.
Gonna watch. I'm gonna watch everything.
We only have like 11 more episodes to go, I believe.
Oh, really?
I don't. Okay. I think they made like 18 episodes, and maybe they're going to do
even halfway through.
Two half seasons.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But Dal wants to know, and I haven't watched it on AMC. Are we watching Interview with the Vampire yet? I get a kick out of how it adds more to the story since the original novel. Plus, Mayfair Witches will be coming soon. All right.
I have it set. It's already on my PVR to watch the last 3 weeks. I just haven't watched it yet.
I have a feeling I'm not. I hate to sound like Artie. I'm never going to watch that, sir. I don't know. I mean, I liked the movie and I liked the book back in the day. Zombies. I am so over zombies. With all apologies to Robert Kirkman and the empire he built. God bless him. Cash every check, Robert. You deserve it. You really did great. And also Max Brooks with World War Z. I just don't. I'm indifferent, and I'm kind of getting that way with vampires. I don't know.
No, never with vampires. But I may not watch Lestat. Yeah, don't know.
I'll check out the first episode.
I did, Johnny. You'll be happy. I did tune in the other day to watch For All Mankind, and my subscription to Apple was screwed up, and I had to call Apple and find out, and they fixed it. So now I'll maybe start watching it this weekend. We'll see.
What a show! Oh my God, when you're a fan, are you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love the alternative reality of it. It's almost like the Man in the High Castle.
Yes.
Oh, I hated that show. I love the way it started and then just plummeted like a roller coaster, and they didn't finish building the roller coaster, so they just kept going.
Did you like From the Earth to the Moon?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For All Mankind is like From the Earth to the Moon.
Yeah, it's the alternate from the Earth to the Moon.
It's the alternate version.
Oh no, I got it. Yeah, but for Man in the High Castle, just started out way up here. I'm like, oh, I want to see what happens. And then it just like kind of dove right into the ground.
I'm glad you mentioned From the Earth to the Moon, Wayne, because we lost Jim McDivitt, one of the original Gemini, and he was part of the Gemini 9, and also was the commander of Apollo 9. And he was with Ed White when Ed White did the first American spacewalk.
Okay.
So he was a very significant astronaut. I didn't know this. He moved his family to my area, and his daughter went to my high school, was a year younger. I never knew Katie McDivitt, but a few of my friends this week when Jim died, it's like, oh, that was Katie's dad. You remember Katie? And I'm like, we had a 800-person graduating class, and we had a couple thousand kids in our school. So no, I never met Katie, but I guess a couple of my friends did. And but also Mr. McDivitt was Commander McDivitt was also on the Brady Bunch, and was on one of those episodes of the Brady Bunch as well. So yeah, I'm it's too bad. But
which episode was it? The Davy Jones episode?
No, no, it was either the UFO episode,
right?
Where Bobby has the dream. And he wakes up like, Bobby, you were dreaming. He's like, oh man, what? I was going to be a basketball star on Complutus because they had little people playing the aliens and stuff. So it's either that episode, and maybe it's the same episode, but I know there was one where Marcia was like competing to be in some sort of like Miss High School or whatever, and the prize was you would be the escort to an astronaut for like the school dance or whatever. So, today that would be incredibly creepy.
Yeah.
That, the commander's here to take one of you underage ladies out for dinner. Okay, great. But I do know that those are the two episodes of the Brady Bunch, or maybe it was the same one where I know they had astronauts on it. It wasn't the Joe Namath episode. I know that. Hey, how you doing, Marcia? I'll be by later.
Nice.
Terrible, but true. Wesley says I couldn't get into Man in the High Castle, but love For All Mankind. I'm with you, Franco. I agree. I thought it was a great first 2 seasons were good, and then it kind of drifted off.
It just went off the rail.
Yeah.
Another great show that doesn't get love that I think Van Jensen brought up, comic book writer. Not a sci-fi show, but a good spy show on Amazon, Patriot. And I really liked Patriot. Patriot's only 2 seasons, but it was a really good show. A guy was kind of a screw up and ends up becoming a courier in Europe. And
I did see the first episode of that. The first season of that. I did see that.
Red from That 70s Show was in the show.
Yep. I did see the first season. Yeah.
Did you guys ever see Berlin Station?
Yes.
No.
Liked it. On Epix, yeah. I like Berlin Station. I like a lot of the Epix shows. I'm glad HBO Max is showing Pennyworth. So if you don't have Epix and you never, Pennyworth's good. I couldn't get into Gotham, or I tried with Gotham in the first season and I couldn't stick with it. But I really appreciate Pennyworth, and it's a good 60s British crime show, spy show kind of thing, and showing a fun version of young Alfred.
Yeah, we don't get season 3 up here yet. It's coming. We just don't know when.
Hey, man, that's how we were in America with Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
We were all
because we got it before you guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's wrapping up, by the way. Female doctors,
Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall, the producer. That's happening this coming Sunday, and I'm curious to watch it. I'm excited for the new Doctor. I'm excited that Russell Davies is coming back to Doctor Who, and I have faith because he was the guy that he's the guy that ushered in the new reboot with Christopher Eccleston. Thank you. Line. I'm trying to think if there was other Trek news.
Oh, I was in GameStop today, and I noticed Star Trek Prodigy has a video game coming out called Supernova.
Wow.
That looks pretty cool.
That's cool. That sounds good. I'm for it.
I'm never going to play that.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm never going to play it either, but I'm for it. That's cool. Yeah, that's what I know, boyos.
That's it. That's all I got.
We could be done.
Well, good, because I got nothing else.
Wait, I do have a couple other things, but go ahead.
Yeah. This came in the mail today.
Stand by. I'm going to zoom in, Ueno.
So this came in the mail today. So it's the documentary about Mike Mignola.
Oh, I'm so glad you're mentioning this. Go on.
And the Hellboy. So yes. I supported it on Kickstarter, and it also had the
what's the other
holographic cover.
So, nice.
Oh, which cover did you get, Franco? I got the black and white.
Stand by. Franco's got his.
Yeah.
Boom. That's great, guys. I had the pleasure of talking to last Monday, Jim DeMonakis, and what's the other filmmaker's name, guys? Should be there on the box.
Yeah,
3 names.
Where is it?
Kevin
Conroy. Kevin Conrad Hanna.
Yes. So Jim and Kevin were on last week, and they let me. They sent me the screener link to see the movie. Man, that's a great movie. I'm so glad that
I have to watch it.
See, I have my Hellboy T-shirt.
Nice
that I got with it.
There you go. That's the Seeds of Destruction cover image.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. No, it's a fantastic movie, and a lot of our friends are in it. Tad Stones is in it, and Chris Robertson and Guy Davis is in it. So many great collaborators with Mike, and Mike Richardson is in it, of course. No, really, I mean, it's Jimmy knows these people, and it was a nice thing for Kevin to meet these people as well. And they tell me this is the first of many. If all goes well, they would like to make more comic book documentaries. Well, they did a hell of a job with this story. So
yeah, from what I hear, I haven't seen it yet. I look forward to watching it. But yeah,
Renee
Witterstatter.
Yeah,
Witterstatter. Yeah. She used to do these documentaries too, because I have a bunch from her. I have like Joe Jusko, I have Bill Sinkovich, a couple of others. Can't remember the other ones, but she did a whole run under Ava Inc.
Okay.
Creator interviews.
Sequard also did the Grant Morrison and Chris X-Men. Claremont.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're supplying your own lines now.
Thank God. Jesus.
Shame and I have the Alan Moore documentary that Alan did a while ago.
That's a great documentary. And by the way, we could take a moment and talk about the Alan Moore article. He said some interesting things that obviously were provocative.
Oh, I heard something about him not doing comics anymore or something like that. He came out with an announcement or something. Is that what?
Yeah, but he also kind of attacked those who enjoy superhero movies, and he kind of connected the whole idea of mass vigilantes with the Klan, frankly, and the film Birth of a Nation. I honestly believe
I don't see that, but okay.
Well, I don't either, and I honestly believe that Alan is just tired of people asking him about comic books. And on the one hand, I get it because that's a big part of his body of work, but also he's moved on to other things. He's moved on to other subjects, and I keep making that comparison of like consider Watchmen in particular. He's divorced himself from Watchmen, and people keep coming back and going, "Hey, how's your ex-wife? Hey, did you see your ex-wife was doing something with HBO lately? Man, that ex-wife is really interesting. What do you think about your ex-wife?" It's like, shut up, Jesus. I mean, I'm sorry, and again, it's the lack of understanding, and that's why I don't believe a lot of his Birth of a Nation stuff. I think he did that to shock and upset people that they won't ask him about that stuff
but
anymore.
He's been saying this for years. Like this is not the first time.
The Birth of a Nation stuff?
Oh no, maybe not that, but just him just shitting on superhero stuff is just
yeah.
Well, and that's fine.
Have any of you read his book Jerusalem?
No, I haven't read Jerusalem. No,
I haven't either. I was just wondering if anyone has.
But there was that Inner Light or whatever. I remember reading that back in the day that had nothing to do with superheroes and comics, and I thought that was great. His observations of the CIA and all the terrible things the CIA did back in the day, I think all that stuff was really interesting. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's an interesting writer. Let him be the artist that he wants to be, and maybe pay attention to the new stuff a little bit more. I find a lot of fault with a lot of media people these days that do interviews and don't do their homework beforehand. And it's like, so here's the basics that everybody already knows about you. Can we regurgitate that? Tell us more about your ex-wife. So I don't know, whatever. And that's fine. And I was going to say more Star Trek news, and I will have the opportunity to talk to them at the end of the month. Jackson Lansing, I hope I'm saying that right. He's got a new IDW Star Trek comic with Ben Sisko as the lead, and it takes place after Deep Space Nine. So he comes back from the wormhole with a bunch of wormhole knowledge, and also just kind of getting used to being corporeal again. And he's got a crew, and they're doing a Black Ops mission, and Data and Beverly Crusher are part of his crew. And I know Tom Paris is as well, and Ensign Sato's granddaughter. So Sato from Enterprise, her granddaughter or great granddaughter is part of the crew as well. And then there's a new character. But that's an interesting comic that's coming. And then Chris Cantwell is writing another IDW comic as well. And that doesn't start until February, but it's a Worf story of him as captain of the Defiant. And it ties into the Cisco comic, and they're kind of building to something. But I'm excited. I think that's great. And again, Jackson's been writing amazing IDW comics about both the next gen characters and the original series characters. He did Star Trek Year 5 for IDW. That has a lot of great story arcs. Really, really good Star Trek writer. And I know Chris Cantwell is such a fan of Star Trek. And, I mean, every time I talk to him, he's surrounded by his Trek Mego figures and stuff like that. So no, Chris gets it. And we know too, Chris is rebooting Max Headroom, and Matt Frewer is going to be in the show. Right. So I'm really excited for that. So I imagine as we continue these sci-fi weeks, we'll always call it Trek Watch, but we'll talk about other sci-fi shows as well.
Maybe it's time for a name change.
No, I still like Trek Watch. Come on. That's our bread and butter. I don't know. What else would you want to call it?
I don't know. I just threw it out there just to mess with you.
Exactly. How about new? That's funny. That's right. Doubt said that there's going to be a Strange New Worlds comic series, and Wesley says he's on the fence for ordering it. Tie-ins are often a miss. Well, we discussed that with Wayne when Wayne was not impressed with the Lower Decks. It
was okay. It's just, I don't know. I think if I reread it now after watching those episodes, and my thoughts might have changed. But especially, since you haven't seen the trailer, Franco.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to spoil it.
And I don't want to spoil it. But but
you got to watch it, Franco. Honestly,
the last image on the trailer will shock you beyond belief.
Yeah, don't cut away when you see the logo and that it's coming February 16th.
Right,
I got to watch it right now.
There you go. Right now. You can leave and watch that. You're excused. Hey, in a couple hours, I'm going to about 2.5 hours from now, I'll be back and talking with the Kinescope guys, because we're acknowledging the passing of Angela Lansbury by discussing, I think, her finest bad guy film role. I mean, there's bed knobs and broomsticks. Don't get me wrong, but and a bunch of other both.
I thought Sweeney Todd was one of her better roles.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that, Wayne. So you take your Sweeney Todd and shove it up your barber pole there.
Whoa.
I know. Poor Wayne. Wayne's always Canadian.
Wow.
Always like crapping on him. I know. I'm terrible.
Jeez.
I know.
Sweeney
You're like
Todd, Demon Barber of Fleet
Street.
Movie.
It's a great movie.
Movie?
Well, whatever. The whole thing.
Musical. Holy
jeez.
The
music.
Same difference.
Yeah. And of course she's fantastic as the teapot in Beauty and the Beast, of course. But no, we're going to talk about Manchurian Candidate, which I love. It's a great, great movie. And yeah, of course, David Finn's like, what about Murder, She Wrote? Surely that's her fun. We're talking movies, David. Thank you. Thanks for playing. Go back to Ireland, David, or Australia. I apologize, David.
Man, he's incurred the wrath of Yoko Chips right there.
Yeah.
So, and yes, Touts, like I thought, Mrs. Potts was a pretty good porcelain pot. Yeah, but again, she is awesome in Manchurian Candidate. If you've never seen the original Manchurian Candidate, it is probably one of Frank Sinatra's best films. I mean, it's no anchors away, I'll grant you. But, yeah, I know you're kidding, David. It's all right. All good. I'm just being mean. But, no, really, Manchurian Candidate, her, Lawrence Harvey, Frank Sinatra, all-star cast, supporting actors, great. John MacGyver.
It's John Frankenheimer directed it, right?
John Frankenheimer directed it.
Hey, I got one.
You did, and it's a fantastic movie. And yes, Brad, you're right. She was in Gaslight. Man, listen, Jessica was always everyone's favorite grandma on Murder, She Wrote. Go back to the 40s. Hubba. Angela Lansbury was hot, really hot, beautiful young ingenue. And yes, she's the.
You know what made her really hot though? Is on Murder, She Wrote. Creating roles for stars that needed insurance and equity in the union, and she created roles for all those people. Like I think the librarian was disabled or had MS or something like that, and cast her as a regular on the show. But then also brought back a lot of old actors who needed the time on screen and the minutes to get their stuff. So
to maintain their Screen Actors Guild insurance, 100%, Francis. You're right. And, that was the case with a lot of guest stars on Love Boat and, when they'd have the old Hollywood people. And also why so many old Hollywood people in the 70s and 80s would be in such schlocky Joe Dante horror movies, or no disrespect to Dante. I love that guy. But a lot of other horror films. And it was like you said, it was to maintain their insurance, because you'd be like, why is Ray Milland doing the incredible 2-headed transplant? It's like, because he needs his health insurance, man. He's a senior citizen.
Have you seen Tourist Trap?
No, tell me.
Oh, it has Connors.
Mike Connors? Mannix?
No, not Mike Connors. Connors. He was the rifleman.
Oh, Chuck Connors. Sure.
Chuck Connors. It has Chuck Connors in this really schlocky horror story. And it's amazing. It's actually a really good story. It's just, and you're going, wow.
Well, do you remember the old Fox
Werewolf?
Yeah, he was the bad guy in that series, and he was like old man werewolf.
Yep.
I love Chuck Connors. Chuck Connors.
That was one of the first episodes. That was one of the first TV shows on Fox. Was Werewolf? I think, was it Married with Children and Werewolf? And they were introduced like one. That's where they would introduce one new night a week per season and expand out. So they started with like a Tuesday night, and then it was a Wednesday night, and then it was a Monday night. Werewolf was on a Friday night, I remember, because that was their Friday night lineup when they first started, because I was so excited to see it. And that hasn't come out anywhere, has it?
No, it hasn't. And also, all right, I got a first season Fox show for you, The Adventures of Beans Baxter.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
Herman's Head.
Yeah.
That's
Herman's Head.
When they brought back Family Guy in the first episode, and it's like Peter's like, well, they had to make room for shows like Herman's Head.
This.
And it like goes on for like 30 seconds, and just
they were all canceled. Yeah, they were all canceled.
According to Andy Richter. Oh God, so funny. Yep. Thank you, Fox. All right, boyos. I think we did good. This was fun as always. We promised to catch up. We're sorry, everybody, that we're behind on some stuff.
Yes.
But these
I've
things
caught up.
Well, yeah, because you know.
I have free time.
I was going to say it's all your downtime at airports waiting for your connecting flights.
That's
where you've
true.
got hours to do nothing. So thank God you've got your laptop.
I do want to say I do want to thank everybody for picking up the Dead Man Tells the Spooky Tales, because I've been getting a lot of feedback, and at New York Comic Con I got a lot of feedback and stuff like that. So thank you, Franco.
I promise next week I will have we'll have a a Dead Man commercial.
Oh, cool.
And I literally late this afternoon got my laptop back, which is a huge relief. And for everyone that's watching that also listens to Word Balloon, I'm very sorry that I've been lax in providing new audio. It's because I was on my backup computer that is a Chrome netbook. And unfortunately, Chrome's audio and video apps are not easy to work with. I needed my computer, and it just took a couple days for it to get repaired. It's now repaired, so I'm catching up in the next few days, putting out a lot of the audio, including this episode, because tomorrow's a new Andor, and Thursday's a new Lower Decks, and we got to catch up. So we'll be back next week. Hopefully, Mitch will join us next week as well. But yeah, come back in about 2 hours and 10 minutes for another Kinescope as we discuss the great film.
We got a message from Mitch.
Wait a minute,
Coach, I'm ready to pod.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for yokoing the dynamic, Mitch, as always. There we go. That's excellent. When's the next Marvel show? When is the next Marvel show? What is the next Marvel show? I don't even know.
Not sure.
Next Marvel show?
Not sure.
Are they doing?
All I know is I'm going to watch it.
Sure.
Well, Wakanda Forever is next month.
Movies.
No, but I'm just.
Next week we could get Mitch's teleplay.
Don't show any more. I don't want to see any more of Mitch's gifts. I hear your thing blazing.
I'm seeing Black Adam this Thursday.
Yeah, I'm going to see it over the weekend, and Mitch went to the premiere, so I'd like to talk.
There you go. So we'll likely talk about Black Adam in our next episode.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't want to see Mitch's gifs.
Mix's
gifs.
Okay, we're done for this year. The next series is What If Season 2. That's currently in production.
Oh wow! Wow, that's going to take a while.
Then we got Secret Invasion, Echo, Loki Season 2, Ironheart, Agatha, Coven of Chaos.
Oh,
and then
Daredevil. I have such a crush
on
her, Catherine Hahn.
And then Daredevil Born Again. What'd you say, Franco? The
actress? I have such a crush on Catherine Hahn. It's not even.
Yeah,
funny.
She's funny. She's great. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, that's Phase 5.
I got your Phase 5. All right, excellent. Everybody, take care. We'll see you next week. But again, Manchurian Candidate coming up 11:30 Eastern time tonight. See you, everybody. Bye-bye now.